Okay. So, there's been a lot of drama lately. What's that? Just back in the chair. So, there's been a lot of drama lately on YouTube and TikTok with, the fat acceptance and fat phobia stuff and thin privilege and stuff like that. I wanted to lend my voice to this topic real quickly. And my personal opinion is, I don't really believe in thin privilege. I don't believe in it because, for one thing, thin people are not privileged. Some people are born thin, and some people work very hard and are dedicated to trying to lose the weight so that they can live a healthier life. Now, I'm not saying that being very thin is healthy. Being super thin is not healthy, and being overweight is not healthy either. But there's a happy medium in between of where and what is an acceptable weight. Personally, I'm content with my body, and I'm content with my size, and with my channel and all of my subscribers, and I'm very thankful to have all of my subscribers and all the people who watch my videos. But I don't really understand the fat phobia stuff, where this demographic of people are saying that that they find pretty much anything offensive that has to do with thin people or what thin people do. Like, if you go to the gym for the sole purpose of working out, you're fat phobic. If you talk about your weight loss, you're fat phobic. If you do something incorrectly, you're fat phobic. Something like that. And then, I don't personally understand that, because I'm a fat person myself, and I do not hate thin people. I don't have any contentment against them whatsoever. But the reason I wanted to make this video is because I watched this video today. Let me see if I can zoom it in. It's oversized clothes are for fat people only, which is not true. Clothes can be for anyone. Clothes can be for both. Oversized clothes can be for both skinny or fat people. And personally, my preference is, I don't really care about what I wear as long as I can wear it and it's clean. But I reacted to this video. This video is by Fun Thai Times, and I've seen a few of their videos, and they talk about they talk about some of the TikTokers and fat liberation people talking about or preaching about unfairnesses in their life, or why they hate thin people. And I watched the first clip, and I was a little bit upset about how this person handled a comment left on her channel, which was a reasonable comment. And I just wanted to show you guys this, because I just find it very disrespectful how she handled it.
This right here, it's in one ear and out the other. For all of you, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, they never stock my size, and I'm not complaining. You think fat people are just complaining to complain. Huh. Yeah, here's the thing about stocking sizes. They're not stocking our sizes because they're not making them at all. You watched my entire original post, supposedly, and ran right to the comments to start an argument out of thin air. And you even said I even was just adding my own point to the argument. Like, your point had no place there. Why do you feel so entitled to speaking when you should just shut up and listen? Do you do this for every group of people or just fat people? Because you have a lot of self-analyzation to do.
Okay, in my opinion, I just find that very disrespectful and intolerant. Because, I mean, I'm not saying that she can't do what she wants to do on her TikTok channel. I mean, obviously she can. But if someone just leaves a comment like this, just like leaves a pretty reasonable comment, it just makes me a little bit upset about just how she handled it. She could have handled it a lot better. She could have been a lot more respectful to this person who left a very reasonable comment. And I sort of agree with the comment because finding clothes is kind of hard, but you know, I like to thrift too. Of course, I never really thrift for clothing. Maybe on occasion I do, but it's very rare that I do, mostly because the reason is because thrift stores don't really have a lot of plus size clothing for a very specific reason. Reason number one is because thrift stores sometimes don't have plus size clothing because not a lot of people donate plus size clothing, either or that, or sometimes the thrift store can't put plus size clothing on the rack if the clothing is worn out or if it's not wearable or sellable, which, you know, is very reasonable. It's very understandable. But I just wish that this person here would have responded to the comment a little bit better and with more respect. But, you know, she could do what she wants on her TikTok channel, you know.
You're not that important, okay? You're not important in this conversation whatsoever. In fact, it is a privilege that you get to just buy what you like when it's in stock at the thrift or whatever. Y'all can't buy out the only plus size shit at the thrift. Say, well, I'm just buying what I want. You should do it too. How am I supposed to do it when you just bought out the only plus size option? Use your head, use your head, use your head. And again, let me loop back around too. They don't make clothes for us. They're too for. How the f are they gonna stock them? God, like, thin people never fail to leave me flabbergasted at the lack of brain activity they possess. It is genuinely pathetic.
You know, I think it is true that the thrift stores do have limited clothing, but that doesn't mean that that there's not brands making size plus clothing, which there are. So I find this to be a very weak argument. And another thing I want to point out is how the only reason I think fat phobia exists is because maybe it could be the fact that people are not happy with themselves and they're so angry that they want to lash out at others around them. And instead of doing what this woman did and lashing out at the person who left a reasonable comment, she could try and do things to better herself. And I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not. It's not easy at all to lose weight. I've had a lot of issues in the past losing weight for a lot of reasons. But I just wish that this person here in the video was a little bit more respectful. But like I said, this is just my opinion. She doesn't have to be respectful if she doesn't want to, but you know, she could have handled the situation a lot better. You know, this is what this is what Fun Times says about this clip.
Okay, so she said it's a privilege to be able to buy whatever you want in a thrift store when it's in stock. No, it's a right to buy whatever you want if you have the money. If you want to buy a clothing item that's an extra small, you can do that. If a thin person wants to buy an extra large, they can do that. As long as you have the money to do it, you can buy the item. Thin people don't have any special privileges when it comes to buying clothes.
And that I completely agree with. There's no such thing as thin privilege or fat privilege or any kind of privilege when it comes to shopping at a clothing store. Yes, sometimes clothing stores don't carry a certain size, but it's, you know, it's there's no such thing as thin privilege, really. It's the clothing is there for people who want to buy it and who have the money for it. And just because a thin person buys a plus-sized outfit doesn't mean that they're stealing it from fat people.
And she also said they're not stocking our sizes because they're not making them at all.
Which is not true.
That's not true. This woman couldn't be any larger than a 2X, and almost every major brand goes up to that size. Going up to a size 3X is pretty standard for most brands nowadays. So this narrative that there's a shortage of plus-size clothes and brands aren't making plus sizes is a straight-up lie at this point. Even places like Target and Walmart have huge plus-size sections nowadays. And if she was referring to thrift stores not stocking plus sizes, then that's not thin people's fault. That's either plus sizes not being donated in proper amounts, or, as I said in other videos, plus size clothing wears out faster than clothing that thin people wear. So a lot of that clothing can't be reworn or resold, so it doesn't.
Yep, that's what I meant, right? That's kind of what I was saying. You know, there's no like she just said. You know, it's not thin people's fault that clothing stores don't have a lot of plus size clothing. So I find it really, you know, I find it to be a very weak argument that these types of TikTokers and fat liberation stuff, fat liberation, fat acceptance people are blaming thin people for not having plus size clothing in stores, or they're accusing thin people of stealing their clothing.
End up in thrift stores. So again, it's not a shortage of plus size clothing being made. She also said, how am I supposed to buy what I like when you take them? Okay, let me explain this in simple terms. Clothing in thrift stores is first come, first serve. You can buy whatever you like, she can buy whatever she likes. And if someone buys an item that you like before you get to it, then that is their item. And they didn't take anything from you or exercise any extra privileges by buying that item. And it's also not an entitlement for anyone to buy a clothing item, even if it's not their exact size. And if you didn't read the comment she's responding to, it says, the mall never has basic small to mid sizes in stock, and yet I'm not complaining. I just buy what I can when it's in stock or thrift what I like. That's a perfectly reasonable statement.
It is.
And yet this creator said that they are speaking when they shouldn't be speaking on an issue they don't have a voice in.
Which I find absolutely disrespectful. But that's just my opinion, you know. Everyone should have the right to voice their opinion on something, or voice their thoughts on an issue. So for this creator to say that this other person who left the comment should, shut up and listen, and that they don't have a voice, is just really disrespectful.
And said that thin people can be so brainless and pathetic for making comments like this. Honestly, it just seems like she has a huge amount of contempt for skinny women when they say anything. Like, I have a feeling any skinny person that says something she doesn't like would send her into a long tirade about how stupid skinny people are and how they never listen to fat.
So that's mostly what I'm saying about is, I've been reading a lot about this thin privilege stuff and how a few other creators have said that, have posted that they've been offended by thin people buying plus size clothing, and then they get angry at them and tell them that plus size clothing is reserved for fat people, when it's not true. Anything at a store is first come, first serve. Like Fun Ties. Wait, what is their name again? Sorry, I'm bad with names. Fun Tie Times just said, everything in a thrift store is first come, first serve. It could still be the same thing for a regular store like Walmart or Target. But, I guess maybe not, because they have a lot in stock, but it's kind of different from a thrift store. All I'm saying is that I don't really believe in thin privilege and thin stuff like that, and fat phobia. Sometimes do people make fun of fat people? Yes, that is true, and it's sad, but but I don't think it's also okay for other fat people to be blaming thin people for stuff that's not their fault. Let's take let's take an example. I've been hearing a lot about fat people blaming thin people for I think it was seating arrangements at the doctor's office or at restaurants or anywhere. Like, they're saying that that the world's not built for them, or that every single store or restaurant has to accommodate them in some way. And while yes, I agree that a lot of places, when it comes to seating, is not amazing for fat people, like myself included. It's sometimes impossible to sit down at the movie theater. I still don't think that the entire movie theater has to accommodate for me or any fat person, because it's all about how we perceive the world to be. And unfortunately, sometimes the world is just not built for plus size people. And as sad as it is, that's just how the world works. And I come to accept it, because I can't change anything about it. All I can do is accept it. And I have. At the end of the day, I have no contentment or hatred towards thin people at all. I think, we're all people at the end of the day. So I just wanted to lend my voice to this topic. I'm sorry if I offended anyone in any way about this. But I wanted to lend my voice to this topic, because I've been looking at a lot of this stuff and hearing about this whole fat phobic and thin privilege stuff, and I just think that the thin privilege stuff is kind of stupid. But that's just my opinion. I think it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as thin privilege. You're either thin or, you're plus size or you're average or whatever. A certain group of people are not privileged just because they can sit down at a restaurant easier, or a group of people are not fat phobic if they want to work out at the gym, or they're not thin privileged just because they can sit in a movie theater easily. Like I said in the beginning of the video, thin people are either born thin or have been healthy for most of their life, or they work very, very hard and they put lots of dedication into losing weight and trying to be healthier so that they can live happier. So this is why I do not believe in fat phobia and thin privilege. Like I said earlier, yes, sometimes people make fun of fat people, and but two wrongs don't make a right. And I really do think that this creator who responded to the comment in the video could have handled it a lot better. She could have explained herself a little bit more nicer and more polite. But, if she wants to be disrespectful, then she can in her TikTok channel. But yeah, I guess that's about it.